Welcome to Stock Talk with Scott. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good day in the market today. Of course, the market was kind of red, so I don't know too many people that did, but we're going to take a look at our portfolio and go over what happened with our portfolio today. I want to talk to you about a couple other things too that I'd mentioned a couple videos back, things that can hurt the value of your stock. Those two things that I want to talk to you about. The first one being a reverse split, and the second one being a stock offering. So I got Novavax has done both of those in the past, so I'm going to kind of show you the effects of that, and I can tell you that most of the time those are not good for a stock. You don't want to hear anything about a reverse split. You don't want to hear a whole lot about stock offerings. It does cause dilution in the shares and that kind of thing. So, not good news. But we're gonna talk about that as well. But let's go ahead and jump over and take a look at our portfolio. Talk about some of the things that happened today on that, and then we'll talk about those two items. Okay. All right. Let's switch on over. All right. So our portfolio. Our portfolio actually looked pretty good today compared to the market. We had looks like about 5 green and two red ones. But if you look at the charts over here, you'll see there's a good bit of red going across the ways here. So, but X, you see X here, it did close up just barely. As you see the little chart here, you can see that just happened at the end of the day. It was red most of the day. Peloton, that one there, you remember we spoke about that support level around 27. It held pretty good there today. Did go a little bit below it, I believe. 26 something here, but it did manage to stay above that 27 for the close. So you see it was pretty red most of the day though. Novavax, let's talk about Novavax. It started out pretty good this morning. It had a lot of volume in the morning, but all that volume died off, as well as the support for the price. And you can see here, it did have a couple of dips during the day. Did close good though at 4% up, and so we're not going to complain about that. I'm holding it in some of my accounts. We're not holding any in this one right now. But you see here it did dip, and then it worked its way back up to the close of $7.99, which is not bad at all. I think the high was 8.17, so not too far from the high. But the volume, like I said, it was heavy in the morning, and it died off. But we got to 2.5 million total volume for the day, so that's not going to hold it up for long. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at the rest of them on our portfolio. If it comes back up here, we'll just wait on it. So you see here we had MPC. MPC, we're talking about that buy range around 56.55, I think it was, or 57.55. So we're in that range. I didn't purchase any today. I didn't like the way it finished. It finished weak, so I'm thinking maybe we might have another down date a little bit tomorrow. So let's wait on that 55. I think that'll be the best spot to get in on a little bit. We'll start nibbling at 55. EXAS, I said last night that it looked like this was on an upward trend, and sure enough, it continued to do that today. Now it did have some down part of the day, but it finished strong at the end of the market day. So CLF was green all day. I think there was some news about a dividend or something on that one, so it kept it green all day. It's we wanted that on about $7.05, $7 range, so we're not anywhere close to buying on that one right now. ACB stayed pretty green today. Almost got to our target of 150. It almost got there, got to 155. Even if you had bought there and if you held it to the close, you would have made decent money. But we didn't buy. We were waiting on the 150, and it never got there. So we didn't jump in on that one. So what I wanted to do next is I want to talk to you about these two things: these reverse splits and these stock offerings. If you remember, just a couple of days ago, Tesla actually did one of those stock offerings, and their shares went up, which is which was kind of strange, but they did it a good time. I mean, their shares had been skyrocketing, so they raised a lot of money. So it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it usually does impact your value of your shares, because if you get more shares in the market, it kind of dilutes your shares. So, and it does usually cause them to go down. But I want to show you one. Let's take a look at some history on Novavax here, and I'm going to dive into that and show you an example of both the reverse split and the stock offering. Okay, so let's get back over there. All right, so Novavax. Let's pull up a chart on it. Okay, let's go. Let's pull up I think a 1 month chart will show us the first part I want to show. Let's see here. We'll get this chart up, hopefully. But I want to show you the example here. Once to get it up here, if it's going to get up. Let's see. Sometimes these things got a mind of their own. So, all right, so here's what I want to show you. Let's just cut this down to 1 month. Let's go back. All right, so here it is. It's you see, we did have that run the other day, the 21st of January. It ran all the way up to $9.99. It went crazy that day, I remember. And that was on the coronavirus news, as well as the news had come out about the fast path for their nano flu. So it had two things going for it, and just like all the other pharma drug companies, they were going up on this virus news as well. So we see it go up. Look at the volume on that thing. It was 55 million shares. You know, today was 2.5 million. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how many shares were traded that day. And that's, anytime you see that many shares, you know that's some big boys getting involved there. So we had a great big run up, and then what you see after the hours, there's a news article that came out, and it said they were doing a stock offering for 100 million shares. Okay, so we traded 55 million shares that day, and they're doing an offering for for 100 million, a 100 million share offering, dollar share offering. So still, that's a pretty good bit of money, pretty good bit of number of shares too, when you start doing the math. That is what caused this thing to go down in after hours. They were talking like it was, well, it's because they're not going to have a drug anytime soon. That didn't have anything to do with it. It was all about this shelf offering they were doing. Now, in this case, the way I understood it, the shelf offering, the share offering, was at market prices. So if they sold during the day, they would have got a good price for those shares. And that's not a bad move for the company at all, trying to raise money. So that's probably what happened was that. I'm hoping that's all they've got rid of all of them. They've done their offering and they're done with it. But you can see we recovered from it pretty good so far. We got up to here to $8.50, and now we're still around this $8 range. But we're not too bad. That was a spike up. You can't stay that high that long usually when it goes that fast anyway. So, but that's the stock offering. Okay. That shows you what can happen there. It went to $10 and it was down in after hours all the way back down to $8 and something. So now let's go out about a year, and I want to show you this. You see this S right here? This S, if you put your cursor over it, you'll see it says split on 5/10/2019, 1 to 20. And what that is, that's a reverse split. If you have 100 shares, you will now have 5 shares. Okay. Now the value of your holding is not really decreased. It's just your number of shares. Okay. So they're getting rid of the float, reducing the size of the float that's out there, the number of shares. Okay. So that doesn't really hurt you as much as this right here. This is probably where the news came out. You see where my cursor is here? The news probably came out right in here. And that's what starts dropping your share price. As soon as everybody hears, oh, it's a reverse split, they start the share prices drop. And the reason you're doing a reverse split in most cases is because you're about to get delisted because your price of your share has been under $1 for over 30 days. Okay, so you get a notice from the NASDAQ or whoever you're listed with that will say, hey, your price of your share is not over $1, hasn't been, so for 30 days, and we're going to delist you if you don't do something about that. So they either go and get a loan or get some money, and the price of the share goes up, or they do something like this, a reverse split. They can do a share offering as well sometimes, and make it go up. But that is just not something that, there's usually not people who are going to be out there and buy shares for more than they're worth. That's for sure. So you don't see that happen very often. But the reverse split is usually the tool that most of them use, and so that's what happened here. They used the reverse split tool, and not only does it go down all the way to the reverse split, but you'll see there that line that's going across there, it just kept going down, kept going down, kept going down. So reverse splits are not good. Nobody likes to see those. It's usually not a good time anyway, because you're doing it for a reason, and that's usually to keep them getting delisted. You're very close to bankruptcy when you start doing reverse splits. You're about to pull the plug a lot of times, but that didn't happen here. And if you'd read the message boards, you would have seen a whole lot of talk about bankruptcy. They're done, blah blah blah. But they're still hanging in there, and with that stock offer the other day, they're probably going to be around here for another year or two at least, for sure. And if they ever get one of these drugs to go through, they're going to be doing good. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Those are a couple things that can really mess you up as far as your share price goes. Sometimes it saves you. That reverse split may have saved this company. And then, so we'll just have to wait and see how it comes out in the end. But those kind of things, they're bad when they happen, but sometimes they can actually be good for a company because they're raising money and they're maybe saving the company from being delisted. You don't want to get delisted because it's all downhill from there. It's hard to get back from that point. So those are things are bad news. You might just, you may have to hold on through those kind of things. But again, as I've said before, I've traded for 20-something years. I've had very few stocks go out of business. So that's why I'm a firm believer in not buy and hold, but buy them and hold them until you can't hold them anymore because you don't have them. Okay, or hold them till they go back to green. And most of them end up going back to green. It's a matter of just being patient, waiting. I'm not a trader. I'm the reason. I'm not an investor. I trade, but I invest in the ones that don't go green real quick. I'm gonna take that quick money all the time, especially now that I'm retired. So let's go ahead and take a look at the market for tomorrow. See what we might be in store for tomorrow. So let me get us over there to there. Let's go over to our CNBC. Looks like we've got some green across the board in Asia. Well, one of them just turned red. Shanghai just turned a little red, but we do have a little green showing up there. So that's good. Maybe we'll have a little good start there. Our oil's on the red side, but it's still kind of flat here. Not a whole lot going on with that. Pre-market, let's take a look at our pre-market. Looks like we've got some green across the board. So we may be in good shape for tomorrow. We may start out in the green. That's always a good thing. We started out a little rough today, and it was rough pretty much all day long. So maybe we'll have a little bit better day tomorrow. Of course, the better the day is, the less chance is that you're going to be able to find something to buy. But that's okay. I'm holding plenty myself, and I don't mind them going up. But sometimes you still have things go down on the days that the market's green. Just like today, if you look at our portfolio, most of ours were green while the market was down. So it doesn't always mean anything as far as what you're holding, especially. All right. So look, I hope you have a great day in the market tomorrow. We'll just be watching those same ones, looking for those entry points, trying to get in, and hopefully we can get in on some of those tomorrow. Other than that, thank you for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing. Got another subscriber today, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Gina. She joined in on us. Appreciate that, Gina. And we'll check in with you tomorrow night sometime. Hopefully, or if not, it'll be Thursday for sure. All right. Well, you have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends. And have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye. To subscribe, click the button in the right-hand corner. Thank you.